Dear friends, if you're looking for a way to spend Sunday that's just a little bit different, hey, I'm Dr. Owen Muir. I'm a child, adolescent, and adult psychiatrist, and this is literally how I'm spending my Sunday. Grab some soy sauce. Get that sweet whole food sushi. Take a seat on the couch. Pick up your remote. Pull up your laptop, because of course you're going to be signing notes, because that's all physicians do on the weekend. Unless you're not one, in which case, you're welcome. And pull up the most recent FDA advisory committee about a approved drug, in this case, Brexpiprazole plus sertraline for the treatment of PTSD, which was evaluated by the FDA this week.
As you've read in the FDA briefing book, FDA is concerned about the lack of a formal pre-specified statistical testing procedure, and therefore how results from study 061 should be interpreted.
Gotta have a pre-specified statistical plan.
In the pre-specified SAP that was finalized and signed off prior to study 061 database lock, the formal hierarchical testing procedure from the protocol was removed. The trial design for 061 was powered to evaluate pairwise comparisons associated with the primary objective. And remember, the stated primary objective of trial 061 is to evaluate the efficacy of Brexpiprazole as a monotherapy or as a combination treatment with sertraline in adult patients with PTSD. So here we see the key comparisons of interest that logically follow from those two pre-specified primary aims. While no formal multiple testing procedure was used, the two pre-specified primary objectives lead to three obvious comparisons of interest, shown here with nominal p-values, meaning unadjusted p-values.
This is statistically a huge no-no. When you're making multiple comparisons in science, it increases the risk that by chance alone, you're going to find one of the comparisons to be statistically significant. The appropriate statistical approach is to use what's called a Bonferroni correction. And that's where you adjust every p-value essentially down to take into account the fact that by chance alone, comparing enough things, one of them will be significant. And this wasn't done with Brexpiprazole plus sertraline for PTSD, and one of the trials failed to demonstrate a difference out of the total of 3 that were submitted. And so therefore, like its pharmacological friend methamphetamine, submitted by MAPS and Lykos earlier this year, the FDA Advisory Committee voted against the approval of this combination therapeutic. This was the largest PTSD study of all time, with over 1,200 research subjects taking part in this clinical trial, and unfortunately, not a meaningful difference was determined by the advisory committee. Now, this decision is not binding on the FDA, but a 10-1 vote makes it really hard to imagine that this indication, Brexpiprazole sertraline for PTSD, is gonna get over the line. Thank you for joining me for this incredibly thrilling breakdown of what doctors do on the weekends, which is both sign their notes and evaluate the data on novel therapeutics as presented to the FDA. Have a good one.